It is 2024, and a clash between global heavyweights, dramatic coups, and now, the unexpected entrance of Russian troops is taking place right here in West Africa. In late 2023, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali have, in one voice, decided to go their way, bidding farewell to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and creating their very own Sahel States alliance. And with tensions soaring higher following recent junta coups in the three countries, the region has been reeling. Taking advantage of the chaos, global powers are swooping in, with none other than Russia being on the front line. That is right, in the aftermath of clashes with French and American forces, Putin's troops are making their grand entrance. But wait, let's rewind a bit. We're talking about a region plagued by extremist threats, political upheaval, and a dash of international power play. And Russian soldiers are marching into Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, all while the US and France are juggling their diplomatic acrobatics. It's a recipe for intrigue, folks. So, join us as we untangle the threads of this geopolitical saga and uncover what the future holds for Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and the global players vying for influence in this ever-evolving chessboard. Announcement of Russian deployment. The recent deployment of Russian military personnel to Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali has sparked significant international attention and raised questions about the evolving geopolitical dynamics in the region. In Niger, tensions escalated as Russian troops entered an air base hosting US forces following Niger's junta's decision to expel American troops. This move underscores the growing influence of external powers in Africa's Sahel region, which has become a focal point in the global fight against terrorism. The presence of both US and Russian troops nearby at Airbase 101 in Niamey highlights the complex interplay of geopolitical interests amid heightened diplomatic tensions over conflicts elsewhere, notably in Ukraine. The withdrawal of US and French forces from Niger, Chad, Mali, and Burkina Faso, following political upheavals and coups, has created a vacuum that other nations, including Russia, are keen to fill. Russia's interest in bolstering ties with African countries, portraying itself as a non-colonial actor, and offering military assistance to combat insurgencies aligns with its broader geopolitical strategy. Mali has emerged as a critical ally for Russia in Africa, with the Wagner Group deploying mercenaries to combat jihadist insurgents. Meanwhile, the deteriorating relations between Russia and the United States, exacerbated by the conflict in Ukraine, have led Moscow to seek strategic footholds in regions traditionally aligned with Western powers. The deployment of Russian military trainers to Niger's Airbase 101 signifies Moscow's intent to deepen its engagement in countering Islamist insurgencies in the Sahel. Despite assurances from U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin that Russian forces pose no immediate threat to American troops, competing military forces raise concerns about potential escalations and the regional security implications. Niger's decision to expel U.S. troops reflects a broader trend of African nations re-evaluating their relationships with Western powers and seeking alternative partnerships. Russia's willingness to provide military support without imposing governance or democratic conditions appeals to military rulers in countries like Niger, who prioritize stability and security over political reforms. However, the long-term implications of Russia's military presence in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali remain uncertain. Questions linger about the effectiveness of Russian assistance in combating terrorism and whether it will lead to sustainable security solutions or exacerbate existing conflicts. Additionally, the withdrawal of Western forces leaves a void in counterterrorism efforts, potentially emboldening extremist groups operating in the Sahel region. Amidst these developments, the United States and its allies remain committed to engaging with African nations to address security challenges and promote democratic governance. General Michael Langley's assertion that the U.S. aims to continue dialogue with countries affected by military regimes underscores the importance of diplomacy in navigating complex geopolitical landscapes and promoting stability in Africa. Analysis of the situation and reaction from stakeholders. The recent deployment of Russian troops to Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali is just one piece of Russia's expanding influence across Africa. But why is Russia suddenly so interested in the continent? First off, let's talk about geopolitics. Russia has been pushing for a multipolar world order, meaning it wants to break up the US's and its allies' dominance. With its rich resources and strategic location, Africa is a prime target for Russia to flex its muscles and challenge Western dominance. Plus, with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Russia is feeling isolated, and cozying up to African nations gives them more friends on the global stage. But it's not just about politics, there's also a business angle. Russian private military companies, like the notorious Wagner Group, play a significant role. These groups operate in the shadows, offering military support to local governments in exchange for access to resources and other perks. Wagner, in particular, has been making moves across Africa, from Sudan to Libya to Mali, to secure Russia's interests and make a profit, even if it means stirring up trouble. However, not everyone is happy about Russia's growing influence. The US and Europe see it as a threat to Africa's stability, and they've slapped sanctions on Russian PMCs like Wagner. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, China. While Russia and China have their agendas in Africa, they're not exactly best buddies. Competition over Africa's resources could eventually lead to clashes between these two powers, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Conclusion. After a visit by senior US officials, Niger suspended its military agreement with the United States, citing warnings against partnering with Russia and Iran. This move highlights the delicate geopolitical balance in the region. Niger has historically been a crucial partner in Washington's counterterrorism operations, hosting around 1,000 US troops and a drone base. However, relations have soured since the ousting of democratically elected Mohamed Bouzum in July 2023. Russian influence in the Sahel has grown, shaping US policy decisions. African leaders seek to balance relations with external powers while safeguarding their sovereignty. Niger, for instance, historically maintained close military ties with the US, but recent events have led to a shift towards Russia. The expulsion of French military forces from Niger reflects a broader wave of anti-French sentiment in the Sahel. Military regimes seeking legitimacy have fomented this sentiment, contributing to regional instability. However, neither the US nor Russia has clear strategies to address the implications of France's departure from the region. Russia's intervention in the Sahel is primarily framed in counterterrorism terms, resonating better with local leaders than geopolitical rivalry. Yet, Moscow lacks the experience and capabilities in the humanitarian field compared to the US. This underscores the need for a nuanced approach to address the region's multifaceted challenges. The recent denunciation of Niger's military agreement with the US may have subsided tensions, but the region remains in flux. The alliance of Sahelian states continues to gain momentum, with Chad expressing interest in joining. Niger's role in this alliance underscores the potential consequences of efforts to force Africans to choose sides. In conclusion, the Sahel is experiencing a complex transition between Washington's war on terror and great power competition. Geopolitical rivalries intersect with local dynamics, shaping the region's trajectory. Stakeholders must recognize African agencies and work towards inclusive solutions prioritizing regional stability and security. What are your thoughts on the situation? Can the US, Russia, and France find common ground in addressing the Sahel's challenges? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this topic and other geopolitical issues. See you next time.